So we're in a serious crisis around alcohol and drugs in this country.
We have more and more people dying of addiction.
Overdoses have gone up dramatically.
Enormous problem.
1 in 5 Americans in their life will develop a serious addiction.
This is a shocking statistic.
Something that we're really struggling as a country to deal with.
I'm a father of 3 kids and husband, and for a long time, very few people around me were aware that I had this problem.
Addiction is not a moral failing. It's not something people choose to have.
Almost everyone uses addictive substances at some time or another.
Cannabis, alcohol, opioids.
There's some degree of using substances that's socially normal. Some people go on to develop problems with it.
The important thing to know is that the severity of addiction grows over time.
It gets to the point where they become tolerant to the pleasure that they get from the drug. That diminishes over time, but the craving, the motivation to use, increases. So at later stages of addiction, I see many patients who tell me, I don't even like this anymore. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's because they have an illness.
Guilt, self-loathing was a constant. I loved my family, I cared about my family, but I wasn't really engaged with them. There is no amount of willpower that's going to get you out on your own.
They used to be interested in family. They used to have a career. They used to be interested in sports. All of that takes a back seat to the substance that they were using. It just physiologically becomes more important to them. It changes the brain so that all their motivation is funneled towards that drug. And it just nothing else can excite them as much as the drug.
Constantly, I was telling myself, something's got to be done. This is not good.
Substance abuse and addiction are going to happen regardless of whether we do anything about it or not.
Knowing that it's going to happen to some people, we have to have a way of helping them.
I think the important thing to know about addiction is that addiction is something that can be solved.
The idea with these programs is to reach more people and to catch people earlier in their course of substance use.
Really, there's an incentive for everyone to want to invest in improving addiction treatment services.
It feels like there's a collective will to try and turn this around.
The University of Michigan Addiction Center is one of the leading centers around the country.
Being able to impact the world around us.
There's been an incredible spread of science directly into treatment, directly into law.
We have really world experts as researchers.
We are trying to solve these problems and harness the power that we have behind these institutions and behind these great researchers.
And at the Addiction Center, we're doing a lot of research to look at the multiple influences of substance use.
Leading edge work that will allow us to ultimately make a major difference.
The whole comprehensive nature of addiction.
Biological factors, early brain development.
We've noticed that there are immune cells in the brain, but it turns out that they're more abundant and more active in people who are vulnerable to addiction. This is a completely new finding in all of psychiatry. We think we can leverage that potentially into making a treatment.
Our work is innovative and pushing the envelope in many different ways.
We're driving the field forward.
Using social media,
Machine learning,
smartphone apps,
Data from millions of medical records.
early intervention.
We're making new discoveries about the brain, about genetics.
We're going to be able to predict who's going to have problems with addiction down the road.
And instead of just waiting for people to develop a disorder, we can do what we call early interventions.
The research that University of Michigan and other academic institutions are doing, it made my journey to recovery a lot better. I don't know that I would have been successful without it.
We are in a new era.
We need to share the findings with the world.
There's great reason for hope.
It extends beyond our offices. It extends beyond our health system.